Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Age Mythology Replay. So on bottom left side as the blue Hades, we got Tapiroca. Spawn top right side as the magenta or pink Amaterasu, we got Kaizen. When it comes to the initial gods, of course we all familiar with Hades, but let's talk about Hades and Amaterasu. Hades, range soldier focus and buildings. 20% chance for our fallen humans to return to as shades, give you some free but dirt cheap, not great myth units. Myth units have additional 50% hit points, go along with it. And range soldiers and heroes have +1 range and line of sight. Range fortification has additional 2 range. Ballistics and burning pitch are instantly researched in respective ages. Of course, it's a Shade of Hades. It may say it costs 100 gold, which is probably accurate to what it can do. Not great. And of course you get a Vault of Erebus to get a little bit 2 gold triple, and Sentinels is a pretty good anti-raiding tool, which may be particularly good against Japanese, since it seems like a lot of Kitsune raids I've seen. Amaterasu. Amaterasu's economy and samurais earns an increasing gold trickle with each Bushido tier. Very nice to have. Samurai and Onimushas earn 300% more experience outside of combat, so if they're idle, you get more experience. Shrines increases the content of nearby resources up to 150%, so it sounds like you can collect more delicious meat from the wildlife. Samurai and Onimushas regenerate the hit points twice as fast in combat. And for unique god powers, got Solar Shield. Target unit makes it temporarily nearly invulnerable, so it's like 99% likely. Way of the Bushido gets additional gold per second per trickle tier achieve, and of course get the medium, heavy, and champion upgrades. And also gets a myth unit, Kagura. Amaterasu summons a new Miko and allows your Mikos to train and heal faster. Not bad. Since Amaterasu's focus on samurai, Hades probably should age up towards something that fights samurai. Athena does give access to restoration, Minotaur, pierce armor for infantry, Minotaur upgrade, and of course hoplites increase melee attack range and hack damage. So I think it'd be better to go for Ares. Pestilence is okay. Cyclopes are quite nice. This will give hoplites additional divine damage. Prodromo's not too important, but nice if you want a little bit more effective counter cavalry. Demil's Sword of Dread will give you high passes early and plus melee damage, so early high passes could be used against samurai who are also anti-infantry. More toxic damage could be quite nice as well, so I think Ares would be a little bit better in this situation. For Amaterasu provides Ame no Uzume, I butchered that name well enough, which of course give access to the Goshin Boku tree, which resurrects its owners and myth units as they fall in combat. Slice and Dicing Weasel. Infantry hit points increased by 10%, good for the samurai, and of course gives a little bit of Bushido experience upon death, so that's probably a good idea for her to get. And improves Miko favor generation, allows shrines to affect a wider area. So that's probably pretty good for Amaterasu. The other one, Mina Katatomi, probably butchered that name well enough. Shrine of the Hunt, target a shrine, transform into a shrine of the hunt, periodically spawn huntable deer, as well as friendly wolves defend the area. Probably pretty nice assets there for defense and for economy. Wan Yudo, flame demonic wheel that breathes fire at enemies. He looks pretty happy. And increase their area damage and all that sort. Villagers gather from huntables by 10%. Not bad. It will diminish pretty quickly. Though with this, maybe not so much. Hunter strength improves your archer's bow, increase their range and damage. So ranged soldiers get 1 range and 10 damage. 10% damage. And reduce the cost of ranged soldiers by 10% of wood and gold, and siege weapons by wood and gold. So all that's pretty nice there. Looks like she's aging up to Ame no Uzume. Go and check. Yep, she can still deploy out some Kitsune. And the improve, yep, looks like the goats also can be increased in their fattening. No, the fattening rate's probably still the same, so. There's the tree, the collect spirits, resurrecting, queues them up to 2 spirits at a time. Others are lost, cannot revive scouts, such as Kusune tokens, or divinely summon powerful useless titans. I'm guessing tokens like the golden lions and the monkeys. There's the slice and dice animal. It was called again. And nice deployment of the sentinels there. Sentinels are anti-raiding tool, and this is a perfect such case. I think the Kitsune may have went down. Got many of these weasels on the field. Let's see, 120 food, cheapen food, some favor. 16 damage with a very high attack speed. But yeah, that seemed pretty high DPS one. Speed seems a little bit slow, 4.8 for these weasels. I guess having blades on your elbows doesn't make them, it will slow you down. I don't know why, when I think of Slice and Dice, I just think of Universe at War, the Blade Warriors, or the Novus. Ready to slice and dice. That's a spooky sound, supposed to be a robot. Weasels are moving around. Got Ajax here. Ajax, of course, is the anti-myth unit hero, which all heroes are anti-myth units, but just has high multipliers of times 12. And you already got the temporary invulnerability already summoned. And you got some chickens. These villagers are in fact meat wizards. They turn chicken into chicken. More weasels. Bushido tier 1 still very much the case. After all, you will require samurais and other units to generate favor. Oh, there goes the Kitsune. Achilles took it. Should have nipped at his heels. The Achilles tendons, I heard, is the weakness of Achilles. Who would have thunk? Oh, there's the replenishing one. Let's see, it was collect spirits, most fallen myth units and resurrecting, queues them up 2 spirits at a time, so you get a 50% refund. Spawns the most recently fallen myth unit, whoever captures it and controls it. So it's actually a capturable structure. That's good to know. Wait, why did we get 2 of them? I need to play around with that and see. Oh yeah, looks like it's queued up 2. So it can't stack up. How do we get 2 of these? How many myths do they both get a stack? Or just split the queue among both of them? Not sure. If it's you gain 1 for both of them, that could be very powerful. Looks like I got some samurai employment field, and maybe just meant for Bushido generation, so she has more passive Bushido generation. Ares is currently upgrading Aphrodite. Aphrodite does give access to villager ability for villagers to generate more favor and carry more, as well as Nemean Lion and the very powerful Curse God power, which should be particularly effective versus small number elite forces such as samurai. I think Curse is actually going to be very useful against samurai users. It's already pretty effective versus cavalry users, but it's going to be particularly effective versus samurais. There's Nemean Lion. Let's see, who should, oh, looks like she has queued up Hachiman, which is the closest thing I can think of is Advanced Wars, Hachi, who was the merchant. In this case, he is God of Archery and Strategy. Gives access to upgrades Daimyo to a Shogun, which samurai summons free samurai. Probably that's a good reason why Amaterasu goes for it. Gets access to Tengu, which is not the Wolfkin Tengu from Japanese mythology. It's a subset, but that is a subset one. Let's see, Tengu upgrade. Increases range soldier damage. And hero train time. And something involving ships. Looks like these weasels do find some villagers. Razorwind upgrade. Ajax is now trying to intercept. Ajax does move. No, Ajax does not move faster. He needs Achilles or Chiron to help him pursue them, which he does have access to both of them. Razorwind. Increase damage by 40%. Yeah. Nope. Looks like this one that was heading the corner does pounce on some villagers. There's Achilles. Does manage to get them there. Temporary invulnerability. I don't know where. Was it cast on this one? I have no idea where that got casted. I would assume it was the one that got wounded. Howdy. So I don't want any salami at the moment. Testing 1, 2, 3. Nope. I can see my microphone going. I can see my microphone on my stream on OBS going up and down. We do now have some Onimusha now being employed in the field. And got a number of farms there. I need to switch off of that part. I'm curious, let's... never mind. I was gonna think about... We can take a look at what Amaterasu's next set of gods. But we got a bit of a game here. We do have a Shogun deployed on the field. Let's see, Amaterasu's next minor god could be Takamazuchi or Okun Ushi. Yes. We've got a bit of engagement going on here, so let's focus on this. Does break on through and hitting down south, or not. Oops. There's the Shogun there. The Shogun says it does have Divine Armor passive, Divine Immunity, so it cannot be targeted by Bolt. And it does say Summon Samurai. As far as I can tell, that is like a part of a passive ability, which could be very nice. We just got the increased Bushido tier, so now she gets nice 1.5 gold per second trickle, which is effectively 2 villagers or 3 villagers for free. Which is not too bad, not too terribly strong, but not too half bad. After all, a tiny little bit of gold trickle, especially when there's no more gold left on the map, is considered invaluable. So definitely playing the long game for that one. But also gives access to medium infantry. Which, that's how Japan gets the... No, can still research the champion guard. But of course... Getting it for free is always very nice. Along with free gold. You have the Golden Kite, increasing ranged soldiers. Ranged soldiers and the heroes damage by 25% against Smith units. The bonus damage against Smith units. Hero melee damage. No, it's just more, and all heroes get additional 15% damage. All ranged soldiers get plus 15% damage. All heroes get additional 25% bonus damage, or all ranged units get additional 25% bonus damage versus myth units, which is very nice. Give them a little bit of supplemental support. Got a decent number of weasels here. There should be a Tengu somewhere, though that may be dead. Down south, we've got some more of the Yumi Horse Archers, who have pretty good base damage, cost 3 population. Sentinels here. They could be upgraded with crenellations, help improve the damage against these horse archers. Their durability is not great, however. Turns into pigs. So it does have 5 piggies, wee, all the way to their new home. Of course, got the castle here. Castle, of course, can blow out the siege crossbows, and eventually the hero unit in the Age 4 Mythic Age. 1 Petrobolos here. Various got copper, melee armor, and bronze upgrades going. You do also have Hepatis queued on up for the Colossus and the Plenty Vault. More Tengus being queued on up as well. A couple Naginata riders now push away forward. Chiron's also being queued on up. Naginata riders won't find any villagers up here, but may find these ones who are currently eating some goats. Chiron is here. Hoplites pursuing these Naginata riders now. It does ghost a bit of stuff there. We'll be breaking on through though. Oh, there's also a path right there. They'll increase surface area and less choke point. It would probably be a good idea, especially when the hoplites nearby. They appear to have the Saracia upgrade with their increased melee range. Looks like the Naginata Rider does receive a direct hit there from the Petrobolos. More barracks, more archery ranges. Hepatis is almost queued on up. I think he should start saving his favor up to get out a secondary Plenty Vault. I always think you should rush out a second Plenty Vault with him. We do also have the Age up here, going for Taki Mizkazuchi. I can't pronounce any foreign language. He provides, let's see, target path of destruction will cleave through an area with a colossal. Hey, his opponent has a Colossus. Katana Slash, inflicting massive damage to units and stunning any survivors. Gives access to Asura, the multi-fisted person guy. Tower Giant incinerates enemies. Upgrade to increase their attack speed. Infantry get plus 1 hit points there. Good for the samurai place up for Amaterasu. And bonus damage versus buildings. Sorry, got a bit of engagement there. Weasels push forward. Got a good number of Hypasis being queued on up. Got some hull tests here to engage the horse archers. Restoration now gets summoned there. Do have a samurai summoned there by the Shogun. Shade's now being summoned as well. Does use Divine God Power onto the Solar Shield onto the Shogun there. Another samurai gets summoned there. Do got the champion infantry upgrade. Oh, there's a katana. No, that blade could use a bit of work there. And looks like killed off a good number of villagers there. Oh. Oh, that god power is bugged. And it disappears. Okay, that god power needs work. Got a pretty good queue up there, queuing up Tengu and the Barrett. What in the Star Wars? More or less. Yeah, that god power needs a bit of update. Now, village is backing out off. There's a bunch of angry men after him, and a couple angry ladies. Got the Colossus here. Goes for sumo training and the other upgrade. Villagers who managed to escape into the corner. They're at one of the four corners of the world, so they should be pretty prestigious there. Good number of these crossbows here. They do piercing damage, so like Age of Empires 2 Scorpions. It looks like they got a little bit tied up on terrain. Berry bushes, common enemies of all siege weapons. And it looks like they're pretty vulnerable to being a punch in the face by a bunch of guys, like most siege weapons. There's all those guys there. Blue could mix in some of his unique crossbow. Got Tengu there. Tengu Max there. Still inferior than Mecha Tengus. Because it cannot transform into a jet. We do have now the hoplites and high passes trying to engage. Good amount of cavalry here, so the hoplites will get bonus damage. This polar bear is in for the ride. And that crossbow came out and got killed. I didn't even see anything attack it. Oh, there's the Asura. Does go get the Asura Overlord. Ah, good lord. Which is actually taller than Colossus. Offering good melee damage, good AoE damage, a bit of rain damage. Good General Smith unit. Though he did quickly get picked off. Chiron needs to start targeting the next one on as it starts advancing. Does have one of them queued on up the moment. We've got some shinobi being deployed in the field. More of the Onimori being deployed in the field. And a good mix of forces right now for the Japanese player. Second Plenty Vault may have been summoned at 300, unless it got nerfed for the second cost of the second one, which may have been the case. I'm not sure. Because beforehand it was 200 and 400 favor, so I don't know if it got changed where the third one was cheaper or the second one's more expensive. Achilles and Ajax pushing forward, trying to pick off the Overlord now. Blue's not straight forward. Good enough of these horse archers here. More Naginata riders, so Prodromos could be quite nice. More of these guys being summoned. Now it looks like Hades is going to be eyeing for Secret Titans, or at least try to queue it up eventually. Actuality just needs a bit more gold. He can sell maybe 1,000 wood and he'll have enough gold to get out the Titan research. Mission does not push way forward. Chiron's here, so you can pick off the Weasel. Does pick off the Weasel there. Shades are taking on the Tengu. Chiron needs to hit that Tengu. Or Achilles will there. But the villagers will be going down, so the settlement will be denied. And we've got Divine Blood from Aphrodite being researched now. Blue could start mixing some of his unique crossbowmen, just have a mobile backline siege unit. Iron and bronze upgrades now on the way for pink. And the Titan is being researched. Though his gold right now is pretty low, and his food's not doing all too great at the moment either. Another cursed god power there. Does get free incendiary arrows, so his range units can do some damage. Nothing too great though. Goes from like 1 to like 3 damage. Villagers here a little bit idle. Going for a fortress here. Samurais push away forward. And Yumi horse archers cause some issues, which do have a bit of bonus damage versus myth units. No other bonus damage. They do have a decent attack speed as well. Still, there's just a generalist mounted range unit. That samurai sword does slice apart one villager. The Titan Gate has been summoned, and here are the villagers. Probably queued on up, and now be queued up to collect some wood afterwards. Sentiment goes down pretty quickly, looks like. Yep, overall, I'll just say mass Padrumbles could be quite nice. Engage Naginata Riders, engage the Yumi Archers, the mounted Yumi Archers. And of course, we'll be able to reasonably gauge the siege weapons. And that's also another reason why I like Ares over Athena. Just because I put a bit more value in that divine damage. Especially when it gets very multiplicatively applied against various force units. Just +1 divine damage does go a long way for those things. More so than for hoplites. Good number of samurai being employed in the field now. Fortress trying to summon a Heliopoli, as well as a Chiron and Perseus. Purpose not attacking over here. Of course, got the Sentinels here for defense. They're not going to be a great defense in this case. We can start picking out some of these lone horse archers, I guess. Those need to start stabbing those siege weapons. Looks like the Peltas are focusing down the siege weapons and the range units. They have another fortress or castle being established there. It looks like this myth unit will slowly be picked off thanks to the Sentinels. More of the Petropolis being cleaned up. Got a fortress back here. This Pegasus is still a little bit idle. Also got the Naginata Riders and try and engage these villagers once again. And the Titan has been summoned. Cerberus. A 3-headed dog. Requires 3 times the amount of head pats. While Magenta's making some great gains, Cerberus could change the game quite a bit. Good number of donkey caravans. Samurai have been in trouble. His myth units at least are rangers have at least been a bonus multiplier versus the Titan. Titan looks like going straight over here, it looks like. These start protecting the camel caravan or the donkey caravans a little bit better. Hoplites can help out with that, just a move across the line. Looks like Titan's going straight for the town center. Over here, Magenta or Pink is pushing pretty far forward. Sentinels are engaging. Perseus almost deployed on the field. Be great for him to target that myth unit. He does turn him to stone, getting severe damage. Does go down there. Oh, there's a soul going back to the thing. Good number of samurai here, so looking off some good number of camel or donkey caravans. Cerberus needs. Oh, there's a good number of heroes there starting to hit him, which is a bit of a problem. Of course, this is not Computers 2. We can't just smash the ice and sink a bunch of stuff. This force just need to be a move towards a Titan there to provide some fire support. There's some hoplites there. And these daimyo are classless as cavalry heroes, so I'm wondering if they are to receive bonus damage from anti-cavalry attacks. It would make sense if it does. And it looks like these siege weapons going down, being tasked to take out the expansion here, a world expansion. Castles are going down with a bit of AoE damage for both of them. Fortress now going on up. We now have these deer caravans. Too many jokes about was it My Dear Friend anime I can make about that. Do they have deer crackers hanging in front of them rather than carrots? We do have now the Titan going over here. All of those farms get destroyed instantly. Titan's starting to get some adequate support in the field. Blue and pink have... Blue has a small army size, but the Titan changes the map a lot, to say the least. Vanillus village is starting to go down, and the town center that they're held up into will be destroyed. Service will miss. Oh no, we'll get those villagers, killing all of them once jump. Not swipe. That's a swipe. Hoplites and shades free forward. And jump. Pink's now established the walls. They're trying to interrupt the trade. Blue is still not stabilized over here, to say the least. Couple forces here have been interrupted. And Blue's not going for this town center. Currently, Pink's up to Bushido tier 4, so getting 3.5 gold per second. Another Overlord there, so Kyron can easily engage it. Or he gets knocked back pretty far. The fire sort of bugged out that. Another round of Sentinels. That's probably not really needed. Oh, the gold gets increased maximum. Blue could keep this alive and increase the maximum gold to grab. That's interesting. So that's actually backfiring for Amaterasu. Amaterasu may just want to delete that shrine. They're just migrating away. The Titans now has some escort here. Just going for a sizable army here. May want to generate some more favor for another Plenty Vault. Current one is down here. Yep, that's his only Plenty Vault at the moment. So it looks like Plenty Vault has been nerfed a little bit. At least the second Plenty Vault. Titans push forward with a pretty good escort of forces. My apologies for my drink open up. Heroes still pulls a falling for the Titan. It does have only do regular damage versus heroes. Chiron does go down once again. And the Titan's heading over here. Remember this, well, this item is capturable. Not sure if it is also not targetable. It has 100, it says 100 health. I wonder if it can be splashed down by the Titan. Nope, it cannot be splashed down by the Titan. So if Blue claims it, then his myth units can be duplicated. Now we've got a pair of Colossus here. Titans now push way forward, going for more of Naginata Riders and Samurai. Amaterasu's lacking food, so may want to go for more range units. Not to mention that her range units will have additional bonus damage from myth units. Titans take a severe amount of damage there. Bushido tier 4 research and does have access to champion status and may get elite status after this. The dojo troops are now elite. Perseus does get a bit of petrification done. Hatamoto Samurai now pull on the field. And this landmark is still claimed by Pink for now. Titan's still crushing way through. If Blue can establish a good grass incentive, he can start denying the deer caravans. And the Titan has gone down. Finally going for a levy. More high passes and pebble tests being pulled in the field by Blue. Needs a bit more counter cavalry units there, so hot plates and prodromos. Colossus engaging the guardhouse. Magenta starting to get a good amount of group of forces here. Here's I can see what the elite status looks like. Provides all those benefits. But right now, Pink's force is getting quite grouped up here, while Blue's is still taking a long time to trickle on in. Got 101 versus 105 there. And we still got more overlords being resummoned by the Goshu Bukus. Here, a lot of shades being summoned. Another round of Sentinels summoned out somewhere. Looks like around this fortress. And got peasants trying to engage the Heliopoli. Petropoles can start sieging on the towns now. But we've got a number of Sentinels here to hit these villagers, and they do have full damage versus villagers. Excuse me. These villagers are probably gonna go down. Looks like Blue has reestablished some donkey caravans. Not a very good trade path versus a trade path, but thanks to the plentyfolds, he can try to produce get some more gold generation through that way. There's also still some gold on the map. This area is now being broken on through. Siege crossbows getting hit, hitting the Petropolos. Heliopoli hitting the castle as well. Another overlord there. We've got many Oyumis here. Petropolos trying to take on these Oyumis. And they are doing a decent job of that. Two of them remain. Ajax needs to turn around and hit that Overlord. We've got another round of Sentinels summoned out somewhere. Let's look over here. I think you should cool off the Sentinel summoning. Sentinels are only good against raiders, not necessarily against armies, but I suppose at least they're providing some fire support here. And they do lack crenellations though. And their opponent is going to get a decent amount of cavalry there. Blue managed to get a good grasp over here. Pink's trade caravans are going to this town, so it's not a great one to go to. Actually, they're still trying to turn over here, so they probably need to be retargeted. Overlord, push way forward. It looks like Pink has resigned this Angrade, saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.